Hello, I'm Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to the 13th Joy of Painting series. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes for another series of painting shows. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your oil paints and paint along with us each week. Or just pull up the old easy chair and spend a relaxing half hour as we place some of nature's masterpieces on canvas. We'll use a few big brushes, a dozen colors or so, and I'll show you how easy it is to create some of the most fantastic paintings you've ever seen. So I'll tell you what, let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. Today we have an 18 by 24 inch canvas up here, and I've already covered it with a nice thin even coat of liquid white. The liquid white makes the canvas wet, makes it slick. It allows us to actually blend color right here on the canvas. This is a wet on wet painting technique, so normally we always cover the canvas with liquid white or liquid black to make it wet and slick. So I tell you what, let's have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. And we'll go on up here and get started. Today, let's start with the old 2-inch brush, and I'm going to go right into the smallest amount of Indian yellow. And just tap the brush right into a little bit of yellow. Just a small amount, that's all you need. Just tap it, like so. Okay, let's go right up here. Let's put a little yellow in the sky. Today I think we'll do just a happy little painting, bright and shiny and pretty. Just something that'll make you feel good. So all you do, just use little crisscross strokes and just lay in a little touch of yellow. Just a little bit, like right along in here. Just wherever you think it should be. That's exactly where it should be. There we go. Now then, a little bit more of that same color, and let's have a little water here, and we'll reflect some of that yellow right into the water, same color. Just put a little bit into the water, right about like that. And that's all you need. That's all you need. Now then, same old dirty brush. I'm going to go into a touch of the bright red. Now this is a very, very strong color. You need very little of it. Just tap the brush right into it. I did not clean the brush. Okay, let's go right back up here. Now maybe right in here, there's a beautiful little pinkish glow. Use very little of this red. It's very strong, and we don't want to set this sky on fire. All we want to do is put just a little pinkish glow into it. Just like so. Okay, just add a little color, and then we'll come back and blend it all together. A little more of the red, and we'll put a little bit right down into the water. Right into the water. There we are. That easy. Okay, maybe I'll brighten that up just a touch. Okay, now then let me wash the brush. And we wash our brushes with odorless thinner. And I really recommend you use odorless thinner. You'll be working by yourself in a heartbeat. Shake off the excess, and then beat the devil out of it. That's the most fun part of this whole technique. Now with a good clean dry brush, we can go back in here and just begin blending these colors together. We want to blend this using little crisscross strokes until you can't tell where one color stops and the other color starts. So it's just nice and soft. And the same thing down here. Just blend them together. That easy. Okay. Now then, tell you what, let's do. Let's mix up a sort of a lavender color. For that, I'll take some phthalo blue and alizarin crimson. Proportionately, much more crimson than blue. The blue is 100 times stronger than the crimson. We'll put a little white in there so you can see what color we have. Okay, more crimson, much more crimson. There we go. Now then, a little touch of white. You can look at what you have and see if you like it. If you don't like it, change it. Okay, let me get my old brush here. We'll use the same old 2-inch brush. Just add a little of that color to it, just like so. Okay, let's go up in here. Now then, still using little crisscross strokes. Let's just lay in a little touch of this right around the top and the sides here. Now you can use this lavender color up against the yellow without it turning green. As you know, if you use blue up here, ooh, you'd be in trouble. And we'll just tap in some little happy cloud indications, just doing like this. And we'll come back and we'll blend all this together. Don't worry about it right now. And if you watched the shows before, you know that we don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. Okay, a little touch more of the color. And we can come right over in here and just begin doing the same thing. Just allow this to blend right in. Maybe there lives a little cloud here. In your world, you just sort of look around and decide where you want a little cloud to live. And that's where you put him, wherever you want him to be. You have total freedom on this canvas to do anything that you want to do. Create your own world here. Okay. Now then, let's go down here. And we'll just add in a little bit for our water. Same old lavender color. Now be very careful. If you cover up this yellow, it's gone. That lavender will eat it up. Will just absolutely eat it up. It's so much stronger than the yellow now. Pull from the outside in. From the outside in. Okay. There. There we go. Okay, now then, let me wash my brush again. That's the most fun part of this whole technique. Shake off the excess. Now I get a lot of letters saying, hey, if I do that in my living room, I'm going to redecorate the whole living room in a heartbeat. And that's true. They make what they call a little brush beater rack. It goes in the bottom of a waste paper basket, so you can shake it inside the basket, then beat the rack, and it contains it. So don't do what I'm doing here in your living room. You'll be sending me a bad mouth letter. Now then, with a nice clean dry brush, I want to just gently begin blending this together. And every once in a while, you can just beat the brush. That removes excess paint without going through the whole cleaning procedure. Just begin blending this together. And you can make a fantastic little sky. And just continually beat the brush, just to keep it clean. There. But that's all there is to it. It makes a nice little evening sky that, oh, it makes you feel good. It makes you warm and happy. Okay. Then down here we can do the same thing in the water. We're not too worried about the water as yet. We're going to put all kinds of, we'll have some bushes and trees in here and reflect them into the water. That's always fun. Right now all we're looking for is color down here. There. Okay, and one more time I'll wash the old brush. Shake him off. All right, today, let's have some little hills that live back here. And for that, I'm going to use the fan brush today. You could do them with a knife or 1 or 2 inch brush. Today, I'm going to use the old fan brush. And we'll use just that same old color that we used in the sky. Add a touch of titanium white to it, like so. Okay, let's go right up here. Now maybe there's a happy hill that lives way back here in the distance, and just sort of let that brush bounce along, and all you're looking for is a top shape right now. That's all we're looking for. Then in here, all you're doing is just laying in some color. You could do this with your old shoe. It doesn't matter how you put it in. All we're looking for is these nice top edges. Okay. See, sort of lay that in. Then we'll take a big brush and grab this and pull it. Pull it firmly. Because the canvas is wet, the paint will move. It'll slide on there. There. See? And by changing the brush strokes, you can create the illusion of highlights and shadows without doing a thing. And we want it to be mistier at the bottom than it is at the top. So apply your paint to the top of these little hills and then pull them downward. Okay, see how easy that is? Now maybe you want to have several ranges, and that's easy to do. The big thing to remember, if you have several ranges of hills, is that each one, as it gets closer to you, should get a little darker in value. So just add a little more of the dark color to that same paint mixture, and off we go. And maybe the next one lives let's bring him right along in here. See, wherever you want him to be. You create the dream and put it on canvas. That's what I like so much about this technique. You can create a vision in your mind and get it on canvas before it escapes. When I was a traditional painter, oh, son of a gun, by the time I got to the canvas and the vision that was here, oh, it was gone, and I might work for weeks, and my mood would change. Today I'd be in a seascape mood, and the next day I'd be in, maybe I wanted to paint landscapes, and my mood had changed. It was very difficult to go back and to find that exact mood. And here, you can put it all in there at one time. And we want to show you how. Okay, now let's have another range. What the heck? Once again, same color, only a little bit darker. Each one should get darker and darker as it comes towards you. And maybe this one lives, there it is. You knew it was there. You knew it was there all along. See there? Look at all the different ranges of mountains though. And this creates planes, different levels in your painting. And these planes, all these different planes, are what create distance. And distance in a painting is what makes it interesting. And of course, none of us are interested in that happy buck. But should you be? Should you be interested in that? This is what sells your paintings. Is all these different planes. Makes them more interesting. There we go. Okay, and I'll wash the old brush. Give it a good shake. All right. Now we're ready to start down here. Smooth that out real nice. Okay. Tell you what, maybe we'll have a little grassy area back here. So for that, we'll just use this same old lavender color, and I'll add some midnight black to it. Same old lavender, and I'm just going to tap the brush right into it. There's not a great deal of paint on the brush. Just tap. Now then, maybe there's some, look at there. Maybe there's a little meadow that lives right out here in front of this. You have to decide, is it straight across? Does it have little hills in it? Make the decision. Tap it in. When you have this much power, you have to make big decisions. There we go. See there? And all we're doing is just tapping. Just tap downward. That easy. Begin thinking about the lay of the land. How does the land flow? Does it have little hills and bumps in it? This is where you begin thinking about it and putting those in. Something like so, maybe. Okay, now then, let's put some highlights on that. I'll just wipe the excess paint off on a paper towel. We'll go right into a little bit of cadmium yellow. And I'm just going to tap the brush right into the yellow. Pick up a little sap green. But tap it. Just tap it. Sap green, cad yellow, and whatever was left on the brush. Just tapping. Okay? And then let's go back here and just tap in some highlights. Isn't that fantastic? That easy. That easy. You can just make all kinds of little grassy hills that are living back here. Add a little yellow ochre and Indian yellow as desired. There. I want this to be mainly green. I want this to be bright and shiny back here. And this is where the little bunny rabbit lives. There. There we go. And the squirrels play back here. All the little creatures. I like little creatures. They're my friends. One of the shows we showed you some robins that I had raised and turned loose. Now I've got two little squirrels that I'm raising. Little son of a guns, I would have showed you those, but can't keep them still long enough to get the camera on them. They run everywhere. There we go. See how you can create the lay of the land and make it flow here? That easy. That easy. You can do anything, absolutely anything. Tell you what, let's do. grab another brush. Now I have several of each brush going, so I don't have to spend all my time cleaning brushes. I'm going to pick up, oh, there's some black, some brown, dark sienna, alizarin crimson, little touch of sap green. I'm using the 2-inch brush, and I'm going to pull it in one direction firmly. Let's put in some little trees and bushes. Maybe we'll pick up a little of that Prussian blue too. Okay? Now you have to make big decisions here. Maybe right in here lives a happy tree. Just right in there. Like so. Just push him in. Push firmly. You want the bristles to bend. Don't let them slide. Don't let them slide. If they slide, you get sort of a mess. There. Don't want them to slide. Okay, maybe, I tell you what, let's just sort of let this come right on. We don't know. Wherever you want. That'll help push all that little metal area back. And while we have this color on the brush, just reverse the brush and bring some of it down. We said we was going to have some nice reflections in the water. So just tap some of this downward, like so. See there? Add a little more. We had some black and the browns and the little sap green and crimson. Maybe, tell you what, over here, we'll have a taller bush. This one, maybe he got a little more sunlight. He's strong, big old bush. Gotta have a tall one here. This is where the big eagle sits and looks out over here and makes sure everything's okay. There. Okay. And just bring it wherever you want it. Like so. A little more of the colors. And once again, allow some of this to come right down into the water. See, as I said earlier, we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. If there's anything here that you don't like, you just turn it into a reflection. Can do. Okay, now watch. I'll take another brush, clean, dry brush, and I want to grab these and pull them straight down. Just pull straight down. It's important that you go straight down. And look at that. Instant reflections. That easy. See, and you get, I don't know if you can see it, but in here you get all kinds of beautiful colors reflecting because you mixed all these colors on the brush. If you had just mixed one old dead color on the palette, then that's all you'd have up here. Learn to mix color on the brush. Okay, now after you pull it straight down, go gently across. That'll create the illusion of water. That easy. That easy. Okay. Now then, we'll take the old knife here. Take a little bit of the dark sienna, a little touch of white. Just mix them together like so. Don't overmix. Leave them sort of marbled like that. Cut across so you get a small roll of paint right on the edge of the knife, just like so. Now then, let's go right up in here, just touch, and just put the indication here and there of a little tree trunk that lives in here. Just here and there, that's all there is to it. Let's go on the other side, don't want this big tree left out. And wherever you think a trunk would show, put it in. The other way is just take the point of the knife and cut right through the paint and let some of the white canvas show through. It looks like just all kinds of little tree trunks and limbs and sticks and all those things. Now, we're going to cover up a lot of those when we put highlights on, but some of them will show through. And when people see them, they'll think you work for days with your little one-haired brush putting all those in. Don't you tell them any different. That's our secret. Okay. Now, I'm going right into a little touch of the liquid white and into some yellow. Now, one of our golden rules in this style of painting is a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Add a little sap green there. Thin paint to thick paint. So we start out with a very, very firm, dry, thick paint. There we go. Nice greenish color. Now let's begin coming right up in here and decide where you want these to live. And give it a little upward push. Once again, do not let the brush slide. If it slides, you're going to be angry with me. Give it a little push and let it bend upward. Just let it bend. That's all there is to it. And think about form and shape. I'm going to add a little yellow ochre to that. Think about form and shape. Just don't hit it random. Think about all the little limbs that live in here. All kinds of little things live in here. And each one's an individual, has his own personality. Do one bush, one stick at a time. Treat each one as a friend, and it'll pay you big dividends in your painting. Add a little bright red there. See? There we go. Look at all those little things. See, just use the side of the brush, push upward, and just get layer after layer of beautiful little things happening. That easy. Okay, maybe, tell you what, maybe over here, let's go to this old big one. There. Ooh, there's a nice color. Nice color. There. That's yellow ochre, bright red, little Indian yellow here and there. Once again, think about form and shape. And maybe there's several bushes that make up this clump. And so you can change the color. It makes it a lot more interesting. Or maybe in your bush, there's only one. It's up to you. However you want to do it. There we go. A little touch of that yellow ochre back in there. And I'm just varying these colors back and forth, back and forth. Let all kinds of little things just happen. Ooh, there's a nice one. A lot of red in that one. That's a fireball. Now we can begin reflecting a little bit of that right down into the water. Not worried about much. Just a little. See, there's one. Let him reflect right down into the water. A little more of the color. Just let these things happen. Let them happen. There. Push upward with the side of the brush to make these little grassy areas. There we go. But notice how all this pushes that little meadow area way back into the distance. Creates tremendous depth in your painting. There we go. Just push those in. Reflect a little of them into the water. Maybe there's a nice one that lives right there. There he is. You knew he was there. See, and we'll reflect him right into the water. And he's got a little friend named Clyde. There he is. Lives right there. Tell you what, let's reflect some on the other side here too. I didn't do much reflecting over there. But all you're doing is just tapping in some color here. Then we'll come back with a big brush. This is 3 hairs and some air. Touch and pull down. Barely touch and pull down. Just barely caressing the canvas. And then very lightly go across, just enough to disturb it a little bit. Don't want to wipe it out. Just want to make it shimmer and glitter a little bit. Now with a clean knife, you can go back in here and just put in a little stick or two, wherever you think they should be. Like so. We'll take some Van Dyke brown. We need some land here so this doesn't fall over. Let's take some Van Dyke brown, a little roll of paint on the knife. And all I'm doing here is just touching. Just touching. The canvas will pull off what it wants, give you what's left. Just like a tax man. Boy, that's what he does to me. Whew. Okay. Only trouble when he finishes pulling off, there isn't nothing left. There we go. See that though? You can just do all kinds of fantastic things. Let your imagination be your guide. There are no limits here. Absolutely no limits here. We'll take some brown and some white. Put the least little touch of blue in it to sort of gray it a little bit. And once again, mix your color sort of marbly and don't overkill it. A little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. And then if you're nervous here, it helps. If you got a little shake, just sort of let this bounce along and just barely touch here and there. Just so you get a little touch of highlight here and there. Like so, barely touching. Not too much. Don't want to lose that nice darkness. Okay. Like so. There. Yeah, then I'm going to take a fan brush, little touch of cat yellow, a little yellow ochre, Indian yellow, bright red, all mixed together. Just mix them together. Reach up here and I'll grab some sap green too. But by mixing them on the brush, there's a multitude of color happening right on the brush. Now we can go right up in here and just push upward and put in little grassy areas that sort of bring all this together. Just brings it all together and makes it look right. Pushes some of those areas back. Keeps some of them in the foreground. There we go. Let's go with the other side. Don't want this side left out. But push upward. Make the bristles bend upward. And you can create just, it looks like beautiful little grassy areas that just flow down the lay of the land and right down. Okay, take some liquid white. Pull it out very flat on the palette. Just take the knife and pull it out as flat as you can get it. Get tough. And then cut across. That easy. Okay, let's do it again. Pull it out, cut across. Let's go right up here. And with that, we can go right in here and cut in some little water lines. This is a light area between these darks, and it helps separate and just makes it look a lot more pleasing. Just like so. See there? And keep these basically straight so your water doesn't look like it's going to run right out of the painting. And as many or as few as you want. There we go. See, put a little ripple here and there. And you about have a finished painting. I think with that, we'll call this one done. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting and God bless.